he had none. Like a wild beast without challenge or warning, soon your career of dark killing is run. So honour the brave hearts over the border, was the lesson they taught us that day. Learn that the other bush-ranging marauders over the border should venture to stay. So over the border to rifle and plunder, over the border with all in the bowl. Over the border a terrible plunder, for over the border Balfour lies cold. James Brown on the Irish Bouzouki, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, I'm going to play you another famous prisoner song. This is an original, actually. I wrote this song about a woman by the name of Elizabeth Scott. She was the, you don't recognise that name? She was quite famous in her day. She was the first woman to ever be executed at Melbourne jail. Her crime was that she convinced her boyfriend to shoot her husband. Really breaking the glass ceiling on capital punishment.
Well, I never asked what happened to the boyfriend.
They killed him, they hung him too. Yeah, right next to each other. Yeah. Apparently she died being like, can't you just say it was your idea? William, will you not clear me? Was the apparently allegedly her final words. Anyways, this is a song I wrote about her. It's called Melbourne Jail. Well, me husband Rob was a nasty drinker with a swollen nose and bloodshot eyes. I'm in mother's hand, I was forced to marry, though a girl of 14 years was I. Well, we had a pub in Devil River, Robert drank half what we had to sale. I suppose I'll see him down in hell soon, when they hang me dead in Melbourne jail. Melbourne jail, the bus riders, driving boys, and do get bail. It's got strung up high inside the walls of Melbourne jail. Well, young David Gedge was an easy laugher, with a tender touch and a graceful ear. He kissed me hard beneath the black wood, and he promised soon we'd run from here. I poured him a glass of Robert's brandy, and I placed it in his trembling hand. In his other he held Robert's pistol, and I asked him if he understands. Well, young David turned and went upstairs then, and the gunshot cut poor Robert's wail. But the jacks, they caught us on the highway, and we're both to hang in Melbourne jail. Melbourne jail, bus riders, driving boys, and do get bail. It's got strung up high inside the walls of Melbourne jail. Try me boys, do get bail. It's got strung up high inside the walls of Melbourne jail. Thank you. We've got yet another song about a famous outlaw. You guys might have heard of this fella. He's a Victorian. Had a blue with a police officer over some business with his mother.
How'd you do?
Roamed around the bush in a gang, had a shootout at Stringy Bark, concocted a plan to kill half the cops in Victoria. It went awry, they had an epic shootout at a pub in Glen Rowan, and they hanged him dead in Melbourne jail. Kelly was born in a ramshackle hut. He battled since he was a kid. He grew up round bad men and dockers and thieves and learned all the things that they did. At 16, young man was a wild, reckless lad, robbed coaches and trains without fear. Till one night they caught him red-handed and then they took him to jail for a year. But when he got out, he was bitter and hard, and worse than he ever had been. He robbed and he plundered, became a tough guard, the toughest Australia has seen. He shot down the troopers that came on his trail. He laughed at the price on his head. £10,000 for the whole of the game, and nearly 3,000 for Ned. Bank at Gerilda, he next caught his eye. This job brought him lots of renown. He wasn't contented to hold up the bank, he stuck up the whole bloody town. They held up the pub, they were having a drink and a song. Some troopers rode up and surrounded the place. The Kellys had waited too long. But Ned come out shooting, a gun in each hand, and wearing his armour of steel. In the leg he was wounded, he fell down, and then no more could he plunder or steal. They took him to Melbourne, they nursed him to health, and the judge says you're guilty to Ned. A rope in the after the sun in the east, the famous Ned Kelly was dead. Some say he's a hero that he gave to the poor, while others a killer they say. To me it just proves that old saying is true, the saying that crime doesn't pay. But when I look round at some people I know, and the prices of things that we buy, I just think to myself, well perhaps after all, poor old Ned wasn't such a bad guy. Rest in peace, mate. It's what he would have wanted. What are we doing now? Okay. We have one more song about convicts. One last one. This is another original. I wrote this recently. It's an interesting story actually. My dad recently sent me a photograph of some homework of mine when I was like in grade 6 in primary school, and on it was this little poem. I don't remember writing the poem. I don't know. I thought that's a pretty good chorus. And there was a project about convicts. I've long been interested in the subject, as you can see. Anyways, it's a fun little sort of ditty, bit of a nursery rhyme, very sing-alongable. It's got about 1 million choruses, so feel free to sing along. It's called The Convict Lad. Well, I stole a loaf of bread, lad, stole a loaf of bread. Took me to a judge and this is what he said. Well, you're off to Botany Bay, lad, you're off to Botany Bay. And I became a convict for forever and a day. Well, there's wise to do as you're told, lad, while sailing on the ship. You best be working hard, else they'll crack you with the whip. On the deck you need a mop and lad, to that there is no end. And if you sink upon the bridge you'll mop it up again. Well, I stole a loaf of bread, lad, stole a loaf of bread. They took me to the judge and this is what he said. You're off to Botany Bay, lad, you're off to Botany Bay. And I became a convict for forever and a day. Well, take water when you can, lad, while digging in the sun. There's dust all in the air, it's a drying out your tongue. And if you try to run, lad, they'll shoot you in the back. And they'll throw you in the hole that you were digging on the track. You're off to Botany Bay, lad, you're off to Botany Bay. And I became a convict for forever and a day. Well, my food is made of paste, lad, me drinks they are so thin. I look upon the sergeant swinging on a pint of gin. Well, I eat food with me hands, lad, the same that wipes me bum. And the pretty Union jacket smells so sweet as spice and rum. Well, I stole a loaf of bread, lad, stole a loaf of bread. They took me to a judge and this is what he said. We're off to Botany Bay, lad, you're off to Botany Bay. And I became a convict for forever and a day. Well, shackles on me hands, lad, shackles on me feet. Lashes on me back if I fall down upon me knees. Me body's bloody ruined, lad, a man at 21. Well, I hope I'll work it off one day, you need to meet me, son. Well, I stole a loaf of bread, lad, stole a loaf of bread. They took me to the judge and this is what he said. You're off to Botany Bay, lad, you're off to Botany Bay. And I became a convict for forever and a day. Lad, just like a bloody nut. I raise up in the morning and I'm spitting mud and blood. Well, the days here feel like years, lad. I feel so fucking old. But the bread here is still better than the molly shit I stole. Well, a loaf of bread, lads. They took me to a judge and this is what he said. You're off to Botany Bay, lad, you're off to Botany Bay. And I became a convict for forever and a day. What's more? Stole a loaf of bread, lad, stole a loaf of bread. They took me to a judge and this is what he said. You're off to Botany Bay, lad, you're off to Botany Bay. And I became a convict for forever and a day.
Carter always does, everybody. Tell stories.
Thank you. This next one is a soldier song. It's a story of a bunch of British troops in the second. I know, yeah. Don't worry, they'll be it's the story of a battalion of British troops in the Second Afghani War. They were trying to. They wanted to perform a night raid on the town of Kabul, but to get to Kabul they had to ford the Kabul River, and so they were like, okay, well there's the ford, once the moon is in the right spot, we'll sound the bugle and we'll charge, we'll get across the river as good as we can, we'll raid the shit out of Kabul village. But what they didn't realise was that they really fucked up pretty bad, and that the ford was a lot narrower and a lot deeper than they had initially anticipated, and some 60 to 70 men died from either drowning or being kicked to death by thrashing horses.
For their own horses.
Dripping by the ford, were up and brimming, and his happy squadron swimming across the border, Carbon River in the dark. Carbon town's a blasted place, blow the bugle, draw the sword, and I can't forget his face, wet and dripping by the ford, for the Carbon River in the dark. Keep the crossing lines beside you, and then surely they will guide you. Cross the border, Carbon River in the dark. Carbon town can go to hell, blow the bugle, draw the sword, and I've seen him lie the wellness beside the ford, for the Carbon River in the dark. You can hear the men splashing, you can hear the horses thrashing, cross the border, Carbon River in the dark. Carbon town is mud and dust, blow the bugle, draw the sword, and I'd sooner drown in first instead of in beside the ford, for the Carbon River in the dark. And it's none so blue and dry, there ain't you never coming by. They cross the border, Carbon River in the dark. A blasted place where the bugle draw the sword, and I can't forget his face, wet and dripping by the ford, for the Carbon River in the dark. You can hear the horses blunder, God please help them if they plunder, cross the border, Carbon River in the dark. Turn your horse to Paddle Town, blow the bugle, draw the sword, and off my troop is down and drowned by the ford, for the Carbon River in the dark. There's a river low and falling, and it ain't no damn use calling, cross the border, Carbon River in the dark. There's a river low and falling, but it ain't no damn use calling. Cross the border, Carbon River in the dark. Alright, we've got one more song in the first half, and then we're going to have a break. This is a tune that's quite renowned. It's a Scottish song by a Scottish folk hero by the name of J. McPherson. He was a bastard child of a nobleman and a gypsy, and raised as a part of the aristocracy, but then when his dad died, his stepmother, I guess we call her, was like, no, get the fuck out of my house. So he turned to a life of skullduggery and cattle rustling. However, he was a very talented young man. He was raised with like a formal education, so he could. He was very literate. He was a good rider. He was fantastic with horses, a good fencer, and he was brilliant at playing the fiddle. And eventually, they caught up with him. Sadly, and they decided they wanted to execute him. As they did, they were so happy to do that in those days, and he was on the gallows, and there was quite a crowd come to see Jamie Hanks. He was quite famous, and he knew that there would be people there who would want to buy his fiddle after after they killed him. So his final request was, can I play a last song? And so on the gallows, they handed him his fiddle, and he played the tune that we're about to hear now. And then after he was done playing it, he took the fiddle and snapped it over his knees so that no one else could play it when he was gone. heart away.